know ticks as those pesky things you find on your dog, or you find them engorged on the floor by stepping on them and saying, ew. Or maybe that thing you didn't notice bite you, and now you have Lyme disease. I really don't know of any good thing a tick does besides give me something I can treat as a veterinarian. But what are ticks? Ticks are in the same class as spiders, being arachnids. Ticks are in the order Acarania. Ooh, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't think I've ever said that out loud. I've only ever read it. Anyway, there are over 700 species of ticks in the world, but only a few that we are really concerned about because they can give disease to our animals and to ourselves. In my mind, I break it down into two types of ticks: argacid ticks, which we call soft ticks, and ioxidid ticks, or hard ticks. This is based on their body type. You've probably never seen a soft tick. Hard ticks are what we think about the most and what you have likely seen. I'm Dr. Nathan. Thanks for listening to Vet Talk. First, I want to thank my wife for my new microphone. I love it, and I hope it makes the sound better for you. I feel like I should be on the radio now, but I think I'll keep my day job because I'm better with medical stuff, which today I'm going to briefly go through the main ticks that concern us in each family. Don't worry, it's not the 700 different species. Then we'll talk about tick history, and then talk about how we control ticks and some of the problems I see with ticks. Ticks have been around for a long time, causing disease, but in the veterinary world in the United States, vets became concerned when it affected our country's cattle. In the mid-1800s, Texas cows that went north usually resulted in the summer in many northern cattle dying. These cows that went north were carrying ticks, which carried a disease called babesia. The cattle in the north were not immune to the babesia at all, and many of them died. This happened again, though not as significantly, with anaplasma in the last 1 or 2 decades. The cattle industry was so affected by babesia that the independent cattle ranchers worked with the government to eradicate the ticks that caused the primary problem. Over the decades, vets have transitioned to seeing more small animals. And while we still have methods to prevent ticks on large animals, we've shifted a lot of focus to products to prevent ticks in dogs and cats. Let's talk about some of the ticks that we can find and cause problems. Of the two types of ticks, I'll talk about the soft ticks first. The argacid ticks. We have Argus persicus and Otobus meningii. Argus persicus is found on chickens, turkeys, and other birds. Adults are active at night and during the day, and they hide in cracks in boards and trees. They're found in warm, temperate, or semi-tropical areas. They can make birds restless, cause anemia, ragged plumage. They can also cause weak birds or decreased egg production. To treat these birds, we remove the birds from their houses and place them in wooden crates. We clean the birdhouse with pyrethroids and return the birds to the house 10 days later. The other soft tick, or Otobus meningii, is also called the Spinos ear tick and is found in horses, cattle, sheep, dogs, and other wild animals. It's found in ears. The adults are not parasitic, but it is widely distributed in North America. Typically, we will find this when animals are in sheds and corrals, not in open pasture. And this is another reason to get animals out in a more natural habitat when you have the ability to do that. One less parasite that can get to them. These ticks suck blood and can cause irritation, especially in the ears. You treat these with synthetic pyrethroids. Okay, that's the soft ticks. Now to the hard stuff, the hard ticks. Get it? Hard stuff? Yeah, okay. There are 660 species of hard ticks in 14 genera. I'm going to go over a few more tick facts. They go through a life cycle. That's egg, larva, nymph, and adult. An adult may lay 100 to 18,000 eggs. Those eggs will turn into larvae that have 6 legs, and these can be smaller than 2 millimeters. These larvae molt to nymphs, and those nymphs have 8 legs. They must feed between each stage of development, and they can have one or multiple hosts that they like feeding on. All stages and sexes feed, but only adult females become engorged. Once they have their eggs, they die. Ticks generally like mammals, but they will feed on birds. Ticks are second only to mosquitoes as vectors of pathogens. But remember, ticks are not insects. Here are some of the diseases that ticks can carry: Babesia, Theileria, Cytoxoin, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Lyme disease, Ehrlichia, Anaplasma. They also just can take blood, which can cause anemia, and they can cause an ascending paralysis, as well as itching, swellings, ulceration. Ticks are just a nuisance, and as a vet, I see their effects on a daily basis, all year long. This may be a little boring, but I think good to realize what we are dealing with. As far as the ioxidid ticks, the hard ticks, I'm going to try to do a tongue twister and list the ones I'm going to talk about. Ioxidis scapularis, Haemophilus lepospilostris, Amblyomma americanum, Dermacentia variabilis, Rhicephalus sanguineus, Buphyllus annulatus. That's my favorite one to say. Buphyllus annulatus. Okay, I've said them. And if you want to make fun of how I said them, you try saying them. Let's talk about them individually. Ioxidis scapularis is the black-legged tick. The things it's known for carrying are Babesia, tularemia, Anaplasma, and Lyme disease. You can see it year-round. It likes woodlands with dense leaves on the floor. Remember, this is the tick that transmits Lyme disease. It is active if the temperatures are above 40 degrees. So anything above 40 degrees and your dog or yourself might be getting Lyme disease. Our next tick, Haemophilus okay, fine. It's also called the rabbit tick. This rabbit tick can carry Q fever, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, or tularemia. Amblyomma americanum is the lone star tick. Can carry Rocky Mountain spotted fever, tularemia, and you tend to see this March through September. And it is in woodland areas, likes dense vegetation. Dermacentia variabilis has a lot of names. This is the American dog tick, the wood tick, or just dog tick, and is known for carrying tularemia, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Anaplasma. It can also cause tick paralysis in dogs and humans. This one can lay 4,000 to 6,500 eggs on the ground. And just to let you know about the durability of these parasites, in absence of a suitable host, they may live as long as 2 years. They can also ingest 0.5 to 2 mLs of blood per day. On a small animal, that can really add up. This tick is very active March through September as well, and likes woodland areas, forest, and trail edges, and fields and meadows. You know, the places that dogs sometimes go. Rhicephalus sanguineus is the brown dog tick. This can carry Babesia, tularemia, rickettsial diseases, and is often in homes and kennels. We aren't sure in Kentucky what its seasonality is, but in other regions it seems to be active year-round. This one gets its nickname because it likes living on dogs and will likely get in your house on a dog. Buphyllus annulatus. I just like saying that name. This is the Texas cattle fever tick. It is considered eradicated from the United States, but sometimes does slip up from Mexico. So these things are not just a nuisance to say, they're a nuisance to our animals and to ourselves. So how can we fight them? Well, a few ways. I like having around barns and houses mown grass so the ticks have less to hide on. This also helps with flies. If these ticks get on your animal, you can coat them with Vaseline and they will suffocate and fall off. A lot of people make a big deal about removing an attached tick. Sometimes I think we overcomplicate things. Get it off and just make sure you get the head, because you don't want to leave the mouth parts embedded in your flesh or your animal's flesh. Permethrin products will help repel them, and if you are hiking, tuck pants into your socks and boots. And just be sure to check for them at the end of the day. If you find a tick on you and you live in Kentucky, the diagnostic lab can identify ticks for you. You can do a Google search for the UK Diagnostic Lab to see where to send the ticks to, or I have a link in my episode description. At this website, they also have instructions on how to send the ticks in. So please read that before you start sending in random ticks to the lab. They also have tons more information than I have in this podcast if you want to know more about ticks. Now, how do we fight ticks on our animals? Well, first, in horses, I got nothing. I see ticks on my horses all the time, and it drives me, and particularly my wife, crazy because we are both aware that it can transmit diseases. And I do see Lyme disease in horses. But there are no prescription products out there for horses to repel ticks. I found a non-prescription product that said it repelled ticks in pretty much every species, including horses. I have not been brave enough to try this product on my horse because it just seems too broad to me. It does every species with one product. I just feel like with the amount of questions I get from people who want tick prevention for their horses, that if this product really worked or was safe, it would be talked about and one of the best-selling products in the country, and it's not. As far as cattle, typically producers take care of tick control themselves. For the tick problems I talked about in cattle earlier, they used dips where cattle were run through vats full of water and tick-killing compounds. I've actually never seen this done, and I'm not aware of it being done in Kentucky, nor am I sure that it is still done out west. Let me know if you know of this. I'm curious about it. But in general, around here, there's a lot of sprays, injectables, and rubs that the cattle producers can use to control ticks. Now, for dogs and cats, there are tons of products out there. If it's a prescription product, I think it should work. For example, with fleas, I don't think the original Frontline is still effective. But with ticks, even the original Frontline, I think, is still effective. I've moved on to better products for fleas, and the new products work very well for ticks, too. I tend to use and recommend Bravecto and NexGard. While I have other products available on my online pharmacy, which clients can buy, those are the two products I push the most. NexGard, a product made by Boehringer Ingelheim, treats and controls the black-legged tick, American dog tick, Lone Star tick, and brown dog tick. NexGard can prevent Lyme disease. This is a selling point as I see so much Lyme disease in my region. I saw 44 cases of Lyme disease in dogs in 2024. If we can prevent Lyme disease in your dogs, maybe we can prevent the ticks from getting to you, or at least having one less access point to you. Lyme disease is a growing threat in my region, and if we don't get more people on preventatives, I think we're going to see more and more cases of Lyme disease both in dogs, horses, and people. NexGard is a product that I carry in my clinic. A lot of clients like it because they can get one dose at a time and dose monthly, which is easy for some clients to remember to give. Bravecto, a product made by Merck, is another awesome product, and I push this one as well. The only reason I don't carry it is because of the expense. They have multiple formulations of this product, but I tend to push the 3-month product. While monthly the cost is comparable to NexGard, a lot of my clients can't afford 3 months at one time. So I can keep costs down in the clinic by offering this one only from my online pharmacy while keeping the NexGard in stock. But I still like Bravecto because it gets clients through about a season at a time, and for those that like setting up auto ship on the computer, they can set it up for every 3 months so they know when their next dose comes, it's time to give another dose. In dogs, this product has been evaluated for use in breeding, pregnant, and lactating female dogs and is good for all dogs weighing over 4.4 pounds and over 8 weeks of age. Bravecto treats the deer tick for 12 weeks, American dog tick for 12 weeks, the brown dog tick for 12 weeks, and the Asian longhorn tick for 12 weeks. The Lone Star tick is a little weaker with its control, but everyone has trouble with that one. and Bravecto only treats that for about 8 weeks. One of the other problems I've seen with both these products is Ehrlichia. Ehrlichia transmits into hosts quickly once the tick bites. It can transmit in 3 to 6 hours. When this happens, I've had clients frustrated if they are on flea tick control and get a tick-borne disease. We treat, and I haven't had any animals that have had long-term problems for Ehrlichia slipping past our defenses yet, but I just tell people nothing is perfect. We can prevent a lot of diseases, but we can't prevent everything. These products take about 12 hours to kill ticks. While this will stop Lyme disease, since Ehrlichia transmits so fast, we just can't always get the ticks killed before this disease transmits. This is why I test for Ehrlichia when I test for heartworm disease, so we make sure to catch anything that is missed by our preventatives. Ticks are a problem for us and our pets. They carry a disease, and we can see them pretty much year-round. Preventatives are the best way to keep ticks off our animals and one step further away from us. Since ticks are out so much, we recommend year-round control. I'm Dr. Nathan. Thanks for listening. I hope our discussions are valuable to you and aid in giving perspective. If you want to contact us, please reach out to theveterinarianpodcast@gmail.com. You can find a complete list of the podcast episodes on SoundCloud. If you find this information helpful and want more content, please join our Patreon, patreon.com/theveterinarianpodcast. And don't forget to follow our Facebook page, facebook.com/theveterinarianpodcast. As always, thanks for listening, and I hope this information is helpful to you. If you do find it helpful, please like it, share it, so other people may find it helpful as well.